Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. I am excited to show you this super easy project making a dog bandana. Now I made these just a little bit different. Traditionally, bandanas tie on your dog. I personally don't like anything around my dog's necks. I had an incident that was pretty scary a couple years ago, and since then I don't put collars on them or like anything around their neck. But I came up with this method of making a dog bandana that can quickly and easily be undone and taken off if necessary. So this is great for all of you beginner sewists. It's a really simple project. It only takes about 18 inches square of fabric, depending on the size of your dog. It could take less. And the cam snaps. I will have those linked in the description below the video. And I think they're a lot of fun. They add a lot of personality. I made bandanas for all 5 dogs that we had in the house over Christmas. And it was really cute to see them all walking around with their own little bandanas. So let's get started. And I'm going to show you just how easy these are. So here are the beginnings of my bandanas. You can see I've already added the names to them. On Wrigley's, I used my embroidery machine and embroidered it. If you don't have an embroidery machine and you have a Cricut, you can use iron-on just like I did on the Brinkley one. And I'll show you how I did that here in just a second. And then on Katie's, I'm just going to leave it blank. I think this fabric's really, really cute. So let's get started. For the size of a golden retriever or a larger dog, I used an 18-inch square piece of fabric, and you just fold it in half, and that's where you're going to put the name, is down on the point. So again, Wrigley and Brinkley's are 18 inches square, folded in half on the diagonal. And then for Katie, she's a Jack Russell. She's about a small to medium sized dog, and I only made hers 15 inches. So you might need to adjust the pattern according to the size of your dog. If you have a really small dog, you're probably going to want to go down to about 13 inches or so. So let's go ahead and put Brinkley's name on hers using the Cricut Easy Press. If you have an Easy Press, this is a really simple and fun project. These would make great little gifts for people who have pets. So I went ahead and I cut out some Cricut iron-on on my Cricut Maker, and you can see it right here. So all I'm doing is lining it up where I want to put it. It's up to you where you want to put it, and depending on the length of the name and the size of the name, you know, it's really up to you. I tried to make my names about 5 inches long, and they ended up being about 1.5 inches tall. I put them about 3 inches up from the tip of the bandana, but you can put it wherever you want. I was just going to put a big W and a big B on them. I thought that would be cute. But again, it's whatever you want to do. So the first thing I would recommend is folding it in half again like this and just finger creasing it just to establish where that center point is. You can see we have our center mark right there, and I'm going to do the same to my iron-on. Now I'm folding it in half, matching the iron-on, not the transfer sheet. So that just gives me a center mark there. So I'm just going to line that up with the center mark on my bandana. And again, you can put it wherever you want. On Wrigley's, it's up a little bit higher, and I think I would have preferred it to be a little bit lower. So on Brinkley's, it is about 3 inches from the tip of the bandana, and I think that's a pretty good placement for this particular size. So you can put it wherever you want. And it, again, depending on how big your letters are, how long your name is, things are going to look differently. You don't want to get it clear to the edge because you are going to lose about 1/2 inch by the time we're finished, and you don't want to be stitching over the iron-on. So I have my Easy Press heating up to 305 for 30 seconds. And we're just going to put the iron-on down and apply a light, even pressure with the Easy Press 2. And I'm just going to hit the C. That's going to set the timer to go for 30 seconds. After a full 30 seconds, you can go ahead and lift it and flip the bandana over and press it from the back side for another 30 seconds. Once your 30 seconds are up, you can turn it over. Now don't peel it right away. My rule of thumb is don't peel it until you can comfortably lay your hand on it. While it's still really hot, it's going to try to lift up if you try to peel that too fast. So let it cool till your hand can comfortably set on the top of it. It can be warm, but if you can't just lay your hand on it, it's still too hot to peel. So now I'm just peeling that transfer sheet off. I'm sorry, I'm off the camera a little bit. But you can see Brinkley's name's on there. So again, I embroidered Wrigley's, and I just use the Easy Press on Brinkley's. Either way works just fine. They're both super, super cute. Okay, in addition to our fabric pieces, and we've already prepared our names, you're going to need to have some cam snaps. Now, cam snaps, again, I have them linked in the description below the video. They come in a pretty big set, but they consist of 4 pieces for each snap. You have 2 tacks, and then you have a male and a female end. You just need one of each to make a set of snaps. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is open up our bandana like this so that the name is at the top, and then we're going to fold it in half, right sides together, just like this, so that the name is at the point, but you're looking at the back side of it. It's important that you have it oriented correctly so that when we turn this right side out, the name will be where you want it. The next thing we're going to do is mark an area on one of the sides, and I would make it about 2 to 3 inches apart, which we're not going to sew. That's where we're going to turn this right side out. So what you're going to do is sew down one side up to your mark, back stitch, pick it up, and sew from the next mark down to the end. Again, you're not going to sew between those 2 marks, but you're going to sew the 2 open ends closed. I'm using the edge of my presser foot as a seam guide, but you can do whatever you want. So again, you're just going to fold it so it's right sides together. Mark a spot 2 to 3 inches that you're not going to sew through. And we'll do the last one. Here's Wrigley's. We're going to open it up just like this. Grab those points, right sides together, and mark our no sew zone. 2 to 3 inches. And then we're going to stitch down up to our mark, back stitch, don't sew between the stitches or between the marks, and then sew the rest of it. So go ahead and do that and meet me back here. All right, so I've sewn mine. Now we're just going to snip those corners. Make sure you don't snip through your stitches. If you do, just give it another stitch. But you just want to snip those corners to get that bulk out of those corners so that when we turn it right side out, they'll be nice and sharp. I'm going to do it to all 3. Again, just be careful not to snip through your stitches. And we're just getting rid of the bulk of fabric in the corners. All right, the next thing you're going to do is turn your bandanas right side out through that hole that we left. I like to go to each corner and pull it through, and then turn the whole thing right side out. But you can do it however you want. I just like to make sure those corners get pushed out. So once you have it turned out, you want to have a chopstick or a bone folder or a pen with a cap on it that has a pointy edge, and just reach inside that hole, go up to each of those 3 points of our triangle, and just make sure that they're pushed out really well. And you're going to do that to all 3 corners. You should be looking at the right side, and if you lay it out, it should look just like this. Now we still have that opening over on the side. You're just going to kind of encourage those raw edges to go to the inside and close that up. Now I would take this over to the iron and press it really well. I'm going to go ahead and turn the other 2 bandanas right side out, and then take everything over to the iron and press it flat. Now when you're pressing your bandanas flat, make sure you roll those seams out so that you're not creating a crease in your seams. So kind of just roll them between your fingers and give it a nice press. You'll see me do it here in just a second. All right, we've got them all turned right side out. And again, I'm just going to make sure those raw edges are turned to the inside. And if you just kind of pull on the sides, it'll kind of naturally do it. And then on these corners, this is what I'm talking about. Just kind of roll them so that the edges are nice and flat. And then give everything a good press and meet me back here. All right, I've got mine pressed. And if you have any problem with your corners not being pointed, just use a straight pin like I'm doing right here, and you can just reach inside and kind of pull it out the rest of the way. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we still have this hole here, but we have pressed that so that it's nice and flat. We're just going to sew down one side and up the other. If you want to sew across the top, go ahead. I don't. I just sew these two edges that meet down to the point, and I leave the top blank because I just feel like it's a little bit softer for the dogs. But if you want to put a stitch all the way around, you absolutely can. I increased my stitch length to about a 3.5. And just top stitch again, just down the two sides meeting the center point. If you want to sew across the top, absolutely do so. That's totally fine and up to you. All right, I've got mine all top stitched. You can see I just sewed the two sides meeting the point, and my top side is just the folded edge. All right, so now it's time to add our snaps. The first thing you're going to do is go to the left side, and you're going to place a hole using your punch, and that should come with your cam snap kit if you bought the kit. Or if you don't, you can actually just push the tack right through. But just up here in the corner, sort of centered, I'm just going to poke a hole. And then I'm going to take one of my cam snap tack pieces with the tack side facing up. The tack side is facing the same side as the name. I'm going to push that through. And then you're going to grab either one of your ends and place that. Grab your press, and there's a black side to it right here. That goes against the tack side. And you're just going to squeeze, and that one is in place, just like that. So when this goes on your dog, it's going to go like this. You might want to take it over to your dog right now and kind of measure and see where you want that other snap to be. So again, it's just going to go like this. So I'm just going to take it over to Wrigley, measure around his neck, and figure out where I want. And I did. And I'm marking that just with my hand. So this time we're going to put the tack through the back side. So Wrigley's name's on the front, the tack is on the back. And now I'm going to attach that other back side. So you should be looking at the tack on the left, and on the right, you're looking at the back. And again, we're just going to squeeze that in place by putting the black part of the press on the tack side. And you can see when this snaps together, it's going to go just like this. So there's Wrigley's. Super cute and very easy to release it or take it off if you needed to. So let's do Katie's really quickly, just to review. So if there's a side you want to use for the front, if you're not putting a name or anything on it, just make sure you're working from the left side on the front. Push the tack down into the fabric so that you're looking at the tack. Put one of your backs on. Use your press. And again, the black side of the press goes against the flat side of the tack. So it's going to go like this. I'm going to measure Katie and see how tight I need to make that. Needs to be right here. So I'm going to put another hole. Put the tack this time on the back side, facing up. Put my other end on. And press. And then Katie's is done. Just like that. I just love how easy these are. And we'll finish up this last one. Again, tack on the left goes face down. Tack on the right goes face up. So that's it, guys. That's all there is to this. This is a really great beginner-friendly project. This is a great gift for the pet lovers in your life, and really fun to make them for various occasions. You know, they always put out Christmas fabrics and Valentine's fabric and all the different holidays, so it's kind of fun to have these for the dogs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, these are super easy. You're going to need the cam snaps and a piece of fabric, and that's it. This is the cam snap kit that I have. I will link it in the description below the video. Another option, I went back and added a second snap just to make them a little bit tighter. When I took the photos, I thought they needed to be just a little bit higher. Like I said, I'm overly cautious about it. But you can add different snaps, so if you have a puppy, it's going to fit as they grow. And you can imagine I was trying to get a picture of all 3 dogs wearing theirs, and even though I had treats right here, I could not get them all to sit nicely to show you how cute these are. But they are a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to click that bell notification so that you're notified every time there is a new video via email. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, never stop making. See you guys. Bye-bye.